to show you how you can make a man fall in love with you, okay? It's way more simple and easier than a lot of people think. I believe that a lot of people struggle with this and they don't realize that it's when I say it's way easier than you think, I promise you it's way easier than you think, all right? Now, for those of you who don't know, my name is Yana Speaks. I am a psychic, tarot reader, empath, but most importantly, I am a healer. All right, so let's get right into it. Now, this will be part 2 to how to make a man fall in love with you. Just in case you didn't get to see part 1, I'm just going to kind of go over a summary and then I'm going to actually tell you the actual steps that it takes to make a man fall in love with you. All right, so I remember one time I was having a conversation with my mother, and we were just talking about someone who was acting crazy over another person that we knew. And, I was making a joke and I was like, wow, she must have some really good stuff the way he's acting. And I remember my mom laughed and she said, no, that's not it. So I said, so what is it? She said, well, she knows how to make him feel good. And I was like, okay. And she started to tell me that if you know how to make a man feel good, he will fall in love with you. And, it really stuck with me when she said that. But what also made this very funny is that another person I know, this is actually a man who's probably like in his mid 40s. Yeah, he's around like 44, 45. And we were having a conversation. And this conversation was literally like maybe a week or two after this conversation with my mom. And he was saying to me that when he was younger, he used to think that the girl that would make him fall in love was, the most prettiest girl. She had to look a certain way. But as he realized, that's really not what it was. It was really the girl who knew how to make him feel good. And I thought that that was interesting because keep in mind, he does not know my mom. He does not know that I had this conversation with my mother. And it was just interesting that two people who have a lot more wisdom than I do and a lot more experience said the same exact thing, especially coming from a man. Now, you may be saying, well, how do I make a man feel good? Well, it's very simple because it's something that's inside of all of us. And you make a man feel good using your feminine charm. Okay? Now, you may be saying, what is feminine charm? Well, I'm going to use someone that has done this in such an effective way that you won't struggle with this anymore. So I'm going to use Meghan Markle, and I'm going to talk about what she did that led her to marrying Prince Harry, and how you can do the same thing to attract and fall in love with the man of your dreams, okay? Because you may think that you don't have what it takes. You may think that you don't measure up. You may be very insecure. You may think that you cannot attract a man who is full of abundance and who will treat you good, but that is the furthest thing from the truth, right? So I have a couple of things written down right here just in case I forget anything, all right? So how do we tap into our feminine charm? Well, the first thing is Meghan Markle was very diverse. So how you tap into your feminine charm is by being diverse, okay? So how was Meghan Markle diverse? Well, let's use an example, right? When Prince Harry met Meghan, right? Men are very visual, right? And he knew that he was looking to marry someone, and there were certain characteristics that this woman had to have. Well, Meghan is very diverse. Meghan is the type of person that he could take her around the royals and she'll pull her hair back. She'll make sure she wears a gown that's appropriate. But he also knew that he could take her to Africa or to other countries where, people are suffering. And if he told her, hey, we're going to need to spend 2 or 3 days here and we're going to have to help out with these people who are really sick. I'm going to need you to pull your hair back. I'm going to need you to put on some bummy clothes. I'm going to need you to basically be humble. She was willing to do that because it was something she was already doing. She was already in charities, okay? Meghan Markle is very diverse. She can be amongst, the higher elites and know how to carry herself and know how to talk to people very respectfully. But she could also go to, poor neighborhoods and know how to talk to them and humble herself and be like just one of them. Okay, and that's something that makes a man feel good, is knowing that he could be with a woman who is diverse, a woman who does not feel that she's above everybody else, a woman who knows how to humble herself. That's very, very important. Okay, number 2, she was different. This is very important, ladies. A lot of the times we think that we have to change who we are to attract the man of our dreams, or we try to, if we know that they like something, we try to act like we like it too. No, being different is something that is very attractive. That's why sometimes it's better to date people from different cultures and different backgrounds, because you will be different to them, and that's very intriguing. So Meghan Markle is different. For one, she's not from the same country as him. She's American, all right? She was an actress. She had her own businesses. She was complete opposite from any of the other women that he dated, but that was very, very appealing to him because she's different. It's intriguing. It's almost like you want to learn more. It was so much layers to her. He just wanted to peel the layers one by one by one. Like, oh my gosh, she's the total opposite of any girl I've ever been with. Okay, that's another thing. Dare to be different. Don't be afraid to be different. Okay. The next thing is she was very feminine. Now let's talk about this because this is very important. Like a lot of women, when we think of feminine, we think, you have to have big breasts, you have to have a big butt, you have to have big hips, you have to be super girly. That's not necessarily the truth. If you look at Meghan Markle, she doesn't have the most curves. She's very like up and down, but she is very feminine. The way she carries herself, the way she talks, how she moves, her body language. So what I'm trying to say here is we all have parts of us that is very feminine. Let's say there's a part that you may be lacking. Like let's say, you may not have the most curves. Well, make sure that you emphasize on something else that is more feminine about you. So maybe you don't have the biggest breasts or butt or whatever, but you may have a very feminine face. Play on your face more, or talk softer. Women are more feminine. Men are attracted to anything that is more feminine than them. That's just how it is. Sometimes you could see two women, right? One could be really, really pretty, right? But then you could have another woman who's not as pretty. But because the woman who's not as pretty is very feminine, very soft spoken, not loud, not disrespectful, the guy will tend to go for the one that's more feminine and a little less attractive just because she's more softer. Men appreciate a woman that's just more softer. So speak softer. Just that's what, when you think of feminine, just think softer. Okay. All right. You don't have to be the most beautiful girl, whatever. That stuff is so, I don't know why people think that it's not true. If that was the case, none of these really attractive women you would see would be getting cheated on. You see Beyonce getting cheated on, you see Lala getting cheated on. Just don't think that. That does not matter. It's about just being softer, coming out of that masculine energy and just being softer. Okay. The next thing is she had her own life. Okay, which is very, very important. You want to have your own life. You don't want it to be where a man knows that you're literally sitting by your phone waiting for him to call you, or every 2 seconds you're texting him and calling him, what are you up to, what are you doing, da-da-da. They don't like that. Meghan Markle had her own life. She was an actress before she met him. She had her own blog. She was into fashion. She was doing charities, things like that. That's so attractive to a man. So he had to work around her schedule as well as her working around his schedule. And that made him feel good. And not only did it make him feel good that she had her own life because, she wasn't always available to him, but it made him feel good because when he's talking to his friends, he could brag on her. And men that love to brag on the women that they're into, they love to tell them, well, she has this going on for herself and she does this. And man, let me show you a picture of her. Let me tell you all the great things that she's doing. They love that. That makes them feel amazing. All right. And then the last thing is she was flawed. And what I mean by that is that she wasn't perfect. Now, let's get into this because this is very important, because I really want you guys to understand something, that you do not have to be perfect to make a man fall in love with you. If you are flawed, it's actually better because it will work to your advantage. Now, let's think about this, right? She was flawed. In my eyes, she's not. But in his world, she was. For one, she was American. Okay, they didn't want an American to be a princess. She was biracial. They definitely did not want that. Her mother was, I believe, like a yoga instructor, very earthy, dreads, They didn't want that. She had a whole bunch of family drama with the father and stuff like that. It was just, it was so kind of reminiscent of what kind of happened with Princess Diana when she was breaking free and, you know, not really caring what they thought. They didn't really like that drama that was coming. You know, the royals, they cared about their image. They didn't like that, right? Another thing, besides her being biracial and the whole family drama, stuff like that, you know, the tabloids, they were talking badly about the fact that she was biracial and that they felt like she was not good enough to be a princess, and they didn't agree with Prince Harry being with her. And what did Prince Harry do? He went off on the tabloids. He told them all the way off. He's like, you are not going to disrespect my girl. You are not going to treat her like that. So what did this do? It made him feel like he had to protect her. And this is one of the main things that a man has to feel for you. He has to feel like he has to protect you. And when a man feels like he has to protect you, that makes him feel so good. Okay, he felt amazing knowing that he stood up to them. He told them, do not disrespect my girlfriend, because at the time she was his girlfriend, and he had to protect her. And that's the best feeling in the world, knowing that as a man that they can protect us. Okay, so I hope you found these tips helpful. If you would like to learn more about how to tap into your feminine charm, or you would like to learn more about you know, love advice, if you would like to also book, you know, a psychic reading with me, I have a free Facebook group. Okay, it is open to everyone, and in that free Facebook group, I give advice on love. I give advice on you know, gaining financial freedom. I give advice on how to attract the love that you are looking for, how to manifest the love of your life. And I also do readings in there, things like that. It is a free Facebook group. I highly recommend that you join it because it's just awesome. I give a lot of information, and I like to get very, very personal and, you know, message you guys and go live and things like that. So go ahead and join my free Facebook group so that you and I can build a relationship. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, please go ahead and hit that like, and make sure that you share this video with someone else who would like to learn how to make a man fall in love with them. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.